Hey, how's it going, everyone? My name is Derek Afasi. I'm the owner of Afasi Financial Group, and today's topic I want to discuss with you specifically IRA rollovers and why they may be important for your particular situation and how you could really leverage an IRA rollover for your benefit. Now, the problem lies that individuals, they currently, they might be working for a company, and that company is going to offer them some sort of employer-sponsored retirement plan, such as a 401k, a 403b, a savings plan, a 457, or just even saving money into a regular individual retirement account, also into an IRA. These are deemed qualified retirement plans, meaning that they have certain restrictions, they have certain tax deductions that you could get, and then essentially how that money works later on has a certain parameter of rules as well, meaning it's a qualified retirement account. So what typically happens, this is where the problem lies, is individuals would go work for a company, and let's say we use a 401k example. They'll go work for a company and get offered a 401k plan that they can now contribute money into a type of 401k retirement plan. Think of this 401k kind of as a bucket. So if an individual's working, every single year he could place more and more dollars into this bucket. So it doesn't matter so much of how much money he's placing into the bucket. It matters behind how much money he's placing in, and then also what is the percentage return that comes back that's going to determine whether or not this bucket's going to be larger at the end of the day or smaller at the end of the day, at the end of the year. So this is where a lot of that market volatility has really impacted individuals' retirement accounts, is because they're saying, well, I've thrown so many thousands of dollars into this every year, hoping that my accounts are going to do fantastic, and then out of nowhere, such as like a 2008 market crash, or anytime the market starts taking this dip, I get very concerned, I get very scared, because I don't want to lose all my money, all the money that I saved up, all the money that should be going up like it has in the 90s and the 2000s. I want to eliminate all that downward market losses to my account. And this is where a lot of people fall victim to something known as reverse dollar cost averaging. So what that shows you is that there's certain negatives that could happen if you leave your money in an account that could potentially go down. The number one thing is the fees. This type of bucket, this type of plan, just like all those other types of retirement accounts, they're typically tied to mutual funds. So there's nothing guaranteed about the mutual funds. If the mutual fund performance goes up, then obviously there's going to be a gain into your account. If the mutual fund performance goes down, then there's going to be a negative to your account. So you had individuals in 2008 that had minus 57% losses to their portfolio that 1 year. So if you had $1 million, that's a $570,000 hit to your retirement portfolio, and that really changes the game big time. So as individuals are younger, they typically say, oh, well, I'm going to leave my money in the 401ks, I'm going to leave my money in the mutual funds, it should always be going up, and that's essentially how I'm going to be planning. But when you start getting into your 50s, into your 60s, into your 70s, when you're looking to now start taking withdrawals, or you just want to have that safe accumulation play, that's where you could essentially take your monies from this qualified plans, from these 401k, 403bs, TSPs, 457s, IRAs, and you could roll it over into specifically designed IRA contracts. So you could avoid those mutual fund related fees. You could avoid, most importantly, that downward market loss. Because if you're somebody that's leaving their money in mutual funds, they're leaving their money into something that could potentially go down, it doesn't matter what the averages say. You have a lot of different wealth accumulation specialists. They always go off of the averages, and they say, okay, just a really simple example would be, if I showed you an example that an account went down 50% 1 year and then went up 50% the next year, what is that average? That average is 0%, right? But if you had $100,000 in that example, you'd be sitting at $75,000 at the end of those 2 years, even though an average 0% rate of return. Your actual rate of return was minus 25%. And you can use that at any interval. You can say, okay, if I added a 50% gain first year and then on minus 50% gain, you're still going to be at $75,000, any which way you skin that cat. Now, that downward market loss, if you could eliminate the negatives to a retirement portfolio, that's where you could always make sure that you're establishing the power of compound interest to work in your favor at all times. It's not just individuals that have a downward loss that occur, but it's also the additional fees that get tacked onto that as well. The 401k related fees, the mutual fund related fees, because those mutual funds are not going to be for free. And then on top of it, a lot of people go to wealth accumulation specialists and they say, hey, which options should I choose? How should I choose my 401k account? And that advisor is going to charge you something known as a wrap fee, as an advisor fee. So that's another negative. There's no guarantee that what that information that advisor is telling you is going to be correct. You still had advisors that were advising their clients and giving recommendations to their clients in 2008, and they've had significant losses, far beyond 57% loss of portfolios, with these financial gurus that said, oh well, in the disclaimer it said that this wasn't guaranteed because it's essentially an investment, but the client would have faith in that advisor, so that's why they went with that recommendation. So what I'm saying is there's ways on how you could make it more personalized. If you don't want to have that risk associated with it, if you don't want to have those mutual fund related fees, those advisor fees, most importantly that downward market loss, and when it comes time to actually take out income, that's going to be the fourth negative that could obviously dwindle down that retirement account to $0. And this is why so many people, so many individuals, even though they kept throwing so much money into their 401k related plans, why they cannot properly retire. And it is because they were going against an uphill battle struggle the entire time. So depending upon your situation, you may be eligible for it, you might not be eligible for it. It comes down to whether you're still working for a company, whether you hit certain, whether you suffice a certain amount of years, whether you've sufficed certain age limits, but you might be able to take your current retirement accounts and roll it over into a specifically designed IRA contract, and this is what we do at Afasi Financial Group. Dependent upon your area, dependent upon your age, dependent upon, most importantly, your goals, we can mold an IRA contract specific to your needs. If one of your needs is to say, I don't want to have any downward market losses to my account, but I still want to gain whenever the market goes up, there's a specifically designed plan for you with that. If you want to have something that kind of gives you that personal pension type aspect, you have something known as income riders that you could attach to IRA related contracts to make sure that your IRA is safe, secure, protected. You're eliminating all those different fees, you're eliminating the downward market losses. If it comes time, let's say you do your rollover, you're age 60, but you don't want to retire until you're age 67, well, every year you wait will increase the amount of lifetime income that you could then receive from that contract. Any amount of money, if you trigger your lifetime income, you also set it up a certain way that if you trigger your lifetime income and something happens to you in year 2, year 3, year 4, whatever that is, before your actual account got dwindled away, then the company would pay your beneficiaries whatever's remaining. If, let's say, you keep living, then the company is still on the hook to pay you that lifetime income stream. So there's so many different ways to skin that cat, but what you have to do is be mindful that there are certain solutions that do exist, and this is one of the things on why we get a lot of national volume. We represent many different companies. We're an independent financial agency, so it gives us the power to leverage a tool known as the Retire Sharp planning system. Hence, our YouTube channel is Retire Sharp. Our website's retiresharp.com. But what this does is, on average, individuals that call our office, we'll sit down, we'll ask them what their goals are, and we'll educate them a little bit. We'll send them content specific to their goals. After going through the Retire Sharp planning system, we go through over 1,200 different scenarios, on average, products and strategies, before we recommend our top 3 options that would work best for your individual needs. So you have to make sure that if you're going to do a rollover, that it makes sense to do the rollover. Because it doesn't make sense, then why would you want to go and do all that headache if it's just going to result in a negative aspect? It has to be properly designed. Typically we're going to be very conservative. We're going to be very, very safe planning. That's our mindset. That's my mindset. This is what I wanted to have designed for the company. And this is essentially why we feel that, why we have so much volume that calls in. This is why we are A+ rated on the Better Business Bureau, and why we've always had good reviews. We've never had any complaints, is because we try to make sure that we're taking an ethical process throughout the entire thing. That you're being engaged, you're being acclimated to the process, so you're not just throwing your money into something and not knowing what's going on with it. You're engaged. You understand what this means, what this means, what this means, so that you know for sure this is what my money's doing. I understand that I have it completely preserved, protected from downward market losses, from exorbitant fees, from fees in general, and making sure that you're also getting that lifetime income if that is what your goal pertains to. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you learned some things, and please be on the lookout for some of our most updated content, our most updated videos. Thanks, guys.